And hello everyone, how are you doing? Apologies, this has been very we have been a little bit late. We have some technical issues here. Okay, and we're about to start the matchups. We are here today to do the match between Xanthiax and Dosen for the losers bracket round 3 of the CGC tournament. It's gonna be a good one. We have some very interesting decks. Let me just prepare, start the tournament. He got red coins, so Xanthiax is gonna be going first. Let me do this. Xanthiax with the blue coin, setting up the client, everything is ready to go. Okay, and we have Xanthiax going in with the Reckless Fury and Precision Strike deck, and Dosen going in with Line Pockets and Overwhelming Hunger. They're going... the Renfree lockdown was banned for Dosen. I guess Xanthiax was very not comfortable with playing against Renfree lockdown, which is definitely a very abusive deck. The lockdown leader is extremely dangerous in this kind of tournaments, and also having the ability to use it multiple times plus the extra leader from Renfree, it's definitely a very difficult deck to go up against. In the meantime, the Dragon's deck has been banned for Xanthiax, which is a bit weird to say the least. I was expecting maybe the Witchers to be banned, or maybe even Shiru, but Dosen maybe feels a bit uncomfortable playing against the Dragons, which does have quite some control. Shiru as well has control, so it's going to be fun to see how both of them will deal with it. And we have the tournament matchup ready to go. There we are. Okay, so let's see what these two guys are gonna be able to pull off here today. What deck will Xanthiax will take on blue coin? I am expecting that he probably takes the Witchers. Although both of his deck can do well on red coin, I do feel like maybe we're gonna see a Witchers game for Xanthiax on blue coin. While in the meantime, Dosen has a few choices here to make. Phoenix Swarm is definitely a deck that needs to be on blue coin just to have the ability to draw into the Phoenix Swarm, into the Phoenix if the card is not initially in his hand. But we might also see the Townsfolk, and he goes with the Phoenix on red coin. Okay, so we were right on the first prediction. Xanthiax does take the Witchers here on blue coin. The Phoenix is here on the red coin for Dosen, and he does have the Phoenix there on hand. Let's see. He doesn't have... He has access to the Araka's Queen via the Royal Decree, which is not bad. He has Idoran in hand. That's a good starting hand, actually, for Dosen. Radeya is there as well, so he can get a few Phoenixes up and going. In the meantime, Xanthiax does have the portal. He has a few options here. Juno is there. Trial of the Grasses is there. He has the combo for the thinning as well. Vesemir is there. Let's see how this will go on. And Portal drops on the board. Roach comes out. First of the Adept comes out as well. A very good combo to start your game with, especially if you're on blue coin. Dosen goes in with the Maxi. Try maybe to shake up things a little bit, the card order in his deck. Xanthiax drops the Megascope. He's gonna try to take advantage of those adepts. Try to make as many points as possible. He does have the Sage in hand, which the Sage can be used to draw into a Harenkaduk. It seems like a very good start for Xanthiax. Dosen, on the other hand, will need to start spamming those Phoenixes as soon as possible in order to prepare his carryover for next rounds. He goes with the Vial here. Okay, interesting play. I would expect him to start dropping the Phoenixes, but he might be afraid of... But afraid of what?
One of the two sides, the rest will fall in place.
Maybe he's trying to build up his board a little bit before he starts putting maybe the Oracle's Queen and the Phoenix. Reckless Fury here can be very good for Xanthiax because it can be combined very well with Junot. And there goes the Phoenix. Nikrus drops on board as well. Oh, there we go. That's what he was scared of. There was that Dimeridium bomb that really takes out the Phoenix, send it straight into the graveyard. So there's not gonna be anything. There's not gonna be anything spawned on Dosen's side. Going with the verification on the Vial to get those extra 10 points. Trying to stay as close as possible to Xanthiax. So this is a good play from Xanthiax. He just takes away the Phoenix off board. So at least for this round, Dosen will not be able to spawn any more cards. He cannot, of course, do it in the next round. And he goes for a pass here, Xanthiax. He doesn't want to push anymore. I would expect him that he perhaps will keep playing until he was able to use the Vesemir to thin out his deck a little bit. Dosen needs now to do something to get those extra 8 points. That's the gap between them. He's kind of forced here to either go Radeya or use his Royal Decree with something. He's gonna use Radeya. He gets the Curse Scroll. He's getting the Neuromancy in hand, and he's gonna probably put the Drowner in deck. Yeah, there we go. Drowner goes on the bottom of the deck. Dosen wins round 1. We're heading into round 2. Let's see the mulligans here. That's a very good hand for Dosen. He gets that Defender in hand. He has the Oniromancy. So he can get Oniromancy and Royal Decree in hand. So he can probably get both. Anything he needs is going to be there. There we go. Here we go with the Defender. Setting up the Defender immediately. This is gonna be a very good setup for Dosen if he's allowed to continue. But I do feel like Xanthiax will have to do something to try to stop Dosen to get his things going, and he does take away the Defender with the Junot. It's a very great card to be in a Reckless Fury deck. Junot, you just use one of your leaders. If you get a unit damage, Junot can take it off the board for you, no problem. And then we have the Eaterer now. Dosen doesn't really have any chance to wait any longer. He needs to get more carryover. And with an offensive Trial of the Grasses, Xanthiax takes away the Eaterer as well. Xanthiax is not taking any prisoners here. He's trying to make sure that Dosen will have as little as carryover as possible. Dosen goes with the only romance into the Araka's Queen. It's one of the phoenixes. One phoenix in graveyard, another one will come from the Araka's Queen. And here we're gonna be in a very interesting spot for Xanthiax. He can't deal with everything, but he tries to deal with as many as possible, that's for sure. That Araka's Queen still is on board. Dosen will probably try to use a Baya next, and then use probably a leader to get like three of those phoenixes. It's not a bad carryover. It's 12 points of carryover, and you can basically just order them into the fray whenever you want, so you can protect them for as long as possible. Xanthiax is still a card up. Here we go, Araka's Nest, from the Order of the Araka's Queen, Abaya into the Araka's Queen and the leader on it. We now have 3 phoenixes in total for Dosen. That's not a bad carryover. Dosen being ahead by 15 points, 2 cards down. Xanthiax is about to use Gerd there to take away all those drones that were spawned. Still 4 points ahead. Dosen, is he gonna pass or is he gonna push? And he passes. He did what he wanted to do. He got a few of those phoenixes. Vesemir Mentor and Vesemir in hand, both adrenaline activated. And Xanthiax uses Vesemir Mentor to buff everything on his board and in his deck. So he has some carryover of his own right now. Round 2 goes to Xanthiax. We are 1-1. Leo is in hand for Leo is in hand for Xanthiax. That's a very, very good finisher for him. Okay, come on. He barely avoided getting brick there. He barely avoided getting brick there. That was a good final mulligan for him. Dosen, on the other hand, does have a few options there in hand. Let's see if he can actually spawn enough units and take advantage of that Morwood there. Yeah, he has the mutation, but how many adrenaline? Oh, he has adrenaline unit in deck, so that's fine. Barely. Barely. Hello, Decode. Okay. He gets the other Bear Witcher in hand. He just puts another... he just switched between his Bear Witcher, so that's good. Got those 2 extra Witcher bodies on board. Royal Decree. What is he gonna go for Royal Decree? Okay, so Dosen goes for the bear there. Definitely a beast, so he can take advantage of it via the Morwoods. We have a Quartermaster on board. Xanthiax still gonna be trying to make as many bodies as possible. Okay, Parasite into the Quartermaster. Quartermaster is out of the fray. Right now, Xanthiax has 3 different adrenaline cards ready to go. Quen is ready to go. Vesemir is there for the additional thinning. That's the 12 points coming in from Xanthiax. Night Wraith on board. Might be a good idea here to maybe use the leader on that Night Wraith. Dosen still has the Chimera in hand, so he can take advantage of a few points of that. He still has only Romancy to get something that he might need. Bear Witcher is on board, and we have another leader dropping in. Another leader charge dropping in from Xanthiax. 2 of them, he goes full in. Tries to kill as many bodies as possible from Dosen's side. I think things here are looking very good for Xanthiax. He does have a lot of options. He has that extra Quen, probably going to be another Bear Witcher, and with the shield, that's going to be a 12 points play. He has some healing as well, coming in from the Haran Kaduk. He has Leo, which is going to be a lot of points. Dosen drops in the Phoenixes in play, and there goes the Morwood. Morwood there to buff everything. Good value there from Morwood, 28-24. And we'll have the Quen dropping in right now with the Bear Witcher. That shield there is gonna save 3 points from Xanthiax. There we go. That was a lot of value for Xanthiax right there. 39-25. Chimera drops in. He eats one of the Phoenixes just to buff everything. Quartermaster down.
Why don't train on the cone?
Again, Xanthiax here trying to be as efficient as possible, still trying to make as many bodies as possible. And that Leo is gonna drop down for a lot of points. It's gonna be 13 points, 18 points last card play. I think Xanthiax here has it. Let's see that Leo dropping in on board. Actually, my bad. 19 points. I was 1 point off. Only Romancy into nothing that can really save Dosen here. Not even the spores can do that for him. 10 points difference. 51-41. Xanthiax wins game 1. That was a very good play from Xanthiax. He tried to make sure that there are not many Phoenixes on board. Still doesn't manage to make 3 of them. Still wasn't enough for Dosen. He tried to wait a bit at the beginning because he knew that there were answers on Xanthiax's deck that could literally just blow away his chances of making a lot of Phoenixes. But he, at the end of the day, he couldn't really just keep on going with that. Let's see. So, Phoenix Swarm and Townsfolk still ready to go for Dosen. Let's see if he takes the Phoenix Swarm on blue coin. Shiru is the deck that it's the only one remaining for Xanthiax right now. And we have a Townsfolk versus Shiru. This is going to be a very difficult matchup for Xanthiax because Shiru does have the removal points. He does have Madoc, but he does have to make sure that those Townsfolk are not going to be multi-spammed when the time comes. So he needs to keep enough removal in his hand in order to be able to at least try to minimize the damage that Dosen will try to cause with that specific play. Still 1 Mulligan to go for Dosen. He has Eater in hand. Not that it's going to be very useful in round 1. I don't think he's going to go for the combo right there. And he gets Igor as well. Tax Collector on board, boosted by 5 from using TA. Dosen is already starting to fill up his pouch. But we have there the movement from Xanthiax, taking away the Collector from the back row. And we have a Disciple there dropping in, getting a few more coins, a few more bodies. Circle of Life. Oh, we might have a Shiro here buff. No. Xanthiax decides to buff his Berserker Dwarf instead. Shady Ventor on the melee row, going in for a 4p provision crime card. Dosen here trying to still build up a few of his coins just to have options to use in this first round. 11 points ahead, 11-0. Xanthiax is deciding here what he can use. With Maxi.
Your magic can't harm me.
Trying to shake things up a little bit in his deck. We had a very quick start in this second game. Now Dosen seems to take his time to think what he wants to do next.
Do you have a loyalty
He puts a townsfolk and he buffs him with 1 leader charge. In all honesty, doesn't really have any spenders in hand other than that Igor, and I don't think he's gonna be going for the Igor. And we have another Timuridium bomb dropped by Xanthiax, +1 leader, killing that townsfolk, sending the townsfolk back in the graveyard.
Do we have 4?
Okay, this was a very interesting play from Dosen. He chose to play Brackenbaum, and he used the tribute to activate his passive immediately. 18-15. Xanthiax goes in with the Berserker there to get some additional value from that armor charges. Dosen is already at 9 coins. I think this is a good pass for Dosen, unless he wants to get a spender and stay in the round a little bit more. He does have a few spenders in deck. He has sea juggles, he has some thinning, and he didn't get any of his thinning cards. But he decides to pass. It is a good pass here. It is a good pass here. With a very interesting hand though. That combo there with Iteran and Igor definitely is going to be something that is destined to be played in round 3, or maybe in a very difficult situation in round 2. Okay, another Timuridium bomb dropping from Xanthiax, and he wins round 1. Let's see. Xanthiax round 2 going first. 1 card down. A few thinning options. There's the Sewer Raiders in hand for Dosen. Ooh, he gets the Jax. And Saskia Commander in Xanthiax's hand, and he goes for it. We're gonna see a bleed here. We're gonna see a bleed here. Saskia on board. Cat Witcher drawn out of Xanthiax's deck. Dosen playing the Sewer Raiders in the melee row to avoid the ping from the Cat Witcher. There is a bomb there that can be used by Xanthiax. He goes for the Dryad Matron to get those extra boost every turn. Oh, and we have the Professor dropping in. That's a kill on the Matron and another 4 coins in the pouch. Now with the Jax in hand, he does have 2 spenders. One is Igor and one is Jax. There we go with the movement, and Matok drops on the melee row. And we have another Berserker dropping in from the Saskia. This is looking like a very good bleed so far from Xanthiax. He's trying to stay ahead.
Man's got the wares if you've got the
I think Rodriguez has only 1. No. 2. That was the first Dryad being played in the game. And the Shady Vendor on board for Dosen, killing off the first Berserker Dwarf. There's another one on board. And now we have a pass. Now we have a very nice pass from Xanthiax, taking advantage of that extra ping from the Berserker. 11-11. Dosen does need here to play something, so he decides to go for the thinning via the Royal Decree. Well, I guess I mean, he could have... Xanthiax could have pushed a little bit more here, but I guess he's maybe kind of thinking about something, maybe has some plan in his head. Let's see. Okay. Shuru is back in the deck. Definitely a card that can be retrieved at any point via the Isengrim's Council and also be boosted by 2 points. So Shuru will be able to take out any 5-point units on board. In-game hand for Dosen. That's a very, very good coin generator card for Dosen. And we have Trist Butterflies on board. What is he gonna retrieve? He retrieves, of course, the townsfolk. That's the only missing piece from this puzzle. He's gonna be trying to spamming that Igor and that Eater to make as many townsfolk as possible. Second camp feature coming down from Xanthiax with the ping on Trist Butterfly. I think Imke is we're gonna see Imke next, or maybe Jax. But you need to remember the townsfolk are engines that are only activated when coins are gained. So the best approach here will be to have Imke and all the leader charges ready to go for Dosen. Once he has his combo ready, the townsfolk is on board. Trist Butterfly's boost probably will make it very difficult for Xanthiax to remove that, at least in the same turn. Let's see what he's going to try to achieve here. Circle of Life. Using all of his leaders, and he will kill, actually will kill the townsfolk. Now this is a very, very bad development for Dosen. He doesn't have any more townsfolks. First one was played in round 1. This one dies out. He can't really spam a lot of things here. Maybe Dosen here could have avoided that by using an extra leader charge to boost the townsfolk to 8 or maybe 2 to boost it to 9, just to make sure it will survive long enough for that Igor to come down. Salve used on the Cat Witcher. Xanthiax setting up another carryover there for a few more points. He does have the 2 specials to play still. And we have the bank here being activated by Dosen. What is he gonna try to set up now? I think a cleric or a priest will be great here. Those are his only options basically right now. There we go with the Fire Disciple. Fire Disciple is on board. He does have some coins that can use there in order to activate as many disciples as possible. But we have a Shuru dropping in, and the Shuru is used to kill the Imke. Xanthiax is really trying to put all the control he can on Dosen. He's doing a very, very good job at it. We have another Circle of Life coming from the Forest Protector. He's going to try to buff his units there. Fauve gets the buff. And we have South coming out. Okay, this is going to be a very close game, guys. I think Dosen is going to save all his coins for that Jax. He's the only reliable spender there. Right now, Igor doesn't have a really good target to spam. I mean, even with the Eater and 5 points for 3 points of value, it's not gonna be enough for him. Forest Protector into another Dryad Matron. Dropping on board, getting that extra value. No units on the melee row for the Cat Witcher, but there will be units on the range row. So that's gonna be another 2 points. There we go with the full leader here dropping in on the Jax. And guys, this is not gonna be enough. This is not gonna be enough. Xanthiax actually manages to pull this off. Gascon here as a finisher. Doesn't matter what he gets from the bronzes here. It's just not enough points for Dosen to be able to take advantage of it. And there we go. This is it. Xanthiax gets the 2-0 here. He wins another series. 2-0. Very, very good place by Xanthiax. He was amazingly good today. He had 2 decks that offer quite a lot of control, and I do feel like I misclicked there. I do feel like if Dosen was just a little bit more careful, he probably will have the opportunity to maybe be able to keep that townsfolk alive for a little bit longer. Yeah, it is the first win with Shiro in tourney, in all honesty. I was a bit scared about that Shiro draft for Xanthiax, but he did manage to play this amazingly well. Okay, let's go really quickly and look through the decks that the players used. Yes, Jorge, it's 2-0. Xanthiax won the series. So Xanthiax had his Dragon's deck banned. He had Shiro and the Witcher's usual Bow deck. He went with this on blue coin, and Phoenix Swarm was used by Dosen on red coin in the first game. Renfrey Lockdown was banned from Dosen's side. Indeed, probably the strongest deck out of the 3 that Dosen had in his possession for this specific matchup. Xanthiax was very strategic here. Just take out the most oppressive deck from my opponent's side and try to deal with the other 2 decks. So we had Reckless Fury here for Xanthiax. He started off really well with that portal. The portal basically as a gold card played in turn 1, round 1, you just guarantee that you're gonna get a Roach out and one of the Bear Witcher Adepts. It sets up quite some value, and he also had Megascopes in his hand, so he tried to play enough cards to push a little bit in round 1. He wasn't really interested in winning round 1. He was more interested in controlling what Dosen was trying to do on the other side. This deck specifically is used to use as much carryover as possible via the Phoenixes, and Xanthiax knew that Dosen would try to spam these cards, and he took his measures there. He basically waited long enough for the Phoenix to drop on board. He used his Dimeridium Bomb to just take Phoenix out of the way and make sure that at least in round 2 Dosen will not have the ability to spam 8, 12, 16 points of carryover. Round 2 was interesting because it was at that round that Dosen tried here to set up a defender, set up his Idoran, start copying things. He had the combo in his hand, but Xanthiax wouldn't have any of it. He made sure the defender was out of the way. He killed off the Idoran. He couldn't take away the entire combo from Dosen's side, but he did make sure that he will spam as little Phoenixes as possible, and in the end of the day Dosen only got 3, and in the round 3 it was just a game of who is going to be able to use as much carryover as possible from their cards. Remember that the Witcher's usual Bow does run Vesemir Mentor, which is a great card to have some carryover and also boost everything on your board at the same time. And at the end of the day, it was a very, very easy win for Xanthiax. He controlled the entire match right from the get-go. Dosen did his best to play as efficiently as possible. He tried to take advantage of that more wood. He tried to take advantage of his beast in order to make it spawn as many bodies as possible on board and get the maximum value. Xanthiax though had the ability to spawn more bodies, and when he had the right opportunity, he played that as efficiently as possible. That was game 1. In game 2, we had Dosen on blue coin and Xanthiax on red coin. Dosen used his Townsfolk deck. Hold on, let me just switch from Spanish here, put it back in English really quickly. There we go. So, Townsfolk deck is specifically made with one concept in mind. Use that Igor to spam as many townsfolks as possible. That is the core combo of this deck. And in all honesty, I think Dosen here, the mistake he made in this game, in this matchup, he very intelligently tried to use Tree's Butterflies to boost that townsfolk from 4 to 7, just to be sure that that card is gonna survive long enough until Igor is on board so he can start spamming his townsfolks. Unfortunately for him, Xanthiax did have a way to kill that 7 power townsfolk in round 3. In round 1 and round 2, it was pretty much even game. Both players tried to stay ahead from each other. They didn't really try that hard to bleed too much in round 2 for Xanthiax. I mean, Dosen did manage to get in round 3 with his full combo ready to go, but Xanthiax did make sure to have all his cards available to him in order to be able to control whatever that Igor might be spawning on board. He took away the townsfolk, he took away the Idoran, he was 100% in control of this game, and basically just forced Dosen to just drop Igor on board and don't really have any use for it. He couldn't just use his coins to spawn anything of importance. And basically, the only really good card that was left for Dosen in round 3 was Jax. It was his only good spender. He tried to spend all his coins, focus on Jax, try to get the maximum value for him, but at the end of the day, it was Gascon that came in and gave the final win for Xanthiax. We have another 2-0 game here, guys. I don't know why, maybe I'm a jinx or something, but the last 4 games I think I made, all of them finished at 2-0s. It was all of them, every single one. I do always wish to watch, like, going... I'm going into every cast hoping that I'm gonna see all 3 games being played out here, but it was a good matchup. Both players did very well. Xanthiax was a little bit more efficient with the way he used his cards, and he took the win. So he's gonna be progressing in the next round of the tournament. Dosen, thank you very much for joining the tournament. It was a pleasure to watch you play and compete, and hopefully in the future we're gonna be able to see you again. I'm gonna be stopping the stream. I was thinking of actually playing a few games like normally stream Gwen today, but I am in the process of actually building up a few stuff for the stream. I have lots of help from Decode, and I would like to thank him in public for all his help that he's offering to me. It's always very much appreciated. I am trying to make the stream look better, make the stream look, a bit more professional. We are going to be having a lot of things coming in as well. We have logos ready. The main Twitch side is, I think it's done. And now I'm going to be focusing on changing a few things on stream. So probably I'm going to devote my day on uploading a few videos of these few matches. I will have, now that I remember, I will have a video coming in from a matchup from the previous round that we recorded, but we didn't have anyone to cast it. We do have a caster for it after all. He did cast over the recording, and I'm gonna be sharing it on YouTube with you guys very soon. You're gonna see it on Discord and on my Twitter. I'm gonna share it on Twitter probably in the next 1 or 2 hours. He's a surprise caster. Most European Gwent players do know him, so it's always good to have help from him. So I'm gonna be doing a small raid here, and I'm gonna be seeing you guys most probably either in some other casting tomorrow or on Tuesday. Tuesday most probably we're gonna be doing draft for the losers bracket round 4, and I will stream on Tuesday normally. Let me see who's up right now. Hey, Miss Lady J is here. Yeah, Miss Lady J. We haven't been to Miss Lady J in quite some time. Let's go. And more girls. Do you want more girls in stream, man? Are you sure? Maybe. We'll see. Okay, thank you very much, guys, for dropping by. Apologies for the delay in starting out. I had some technical issues I needed to resolve. I hope everyone is doing great. I will see you guys very, very soon. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and stay safe. Bye-bye.